So I'm just going to start off by asking you to tell me your name and where you're from.
My name is Aluki Kutuk. I'm currently living in Iqaluit.
Amazing. And can you share a word from your language that is meaningful to you and tell me why it's meaningful?
Inunguinak. Inunguinak is often in English referred to as child rearing or parenting, but I think I like the word in Inuktitut because I think it conveys an Inuit worldview, and if English speakers could understand the depth of what it meant, they would have a better appreciation of how important kinship is to Inuit, and they would have a better understanding of how there are many people that are related to us, have a role to help us be good human beings and correct us in our life's journey. And I think although it's often thought of as child rearing, I think it's a process of learning to become a capable human being. And so I think I chose it for this purpose about language because I know that there's been experiences where Indigenous peoples have been taken away to schools, and then that creates a gap in terms of parenting skills. And I think the ability to regain that is something that the word conjures up for me.
And what does the International Decade of Indigenous Languages mean for you, and what is your hope going forwards?
Nunavut is a jurisdiction in Canada that is quite unique in the sense that 85% of the population are Inuit, and the public majority of the population speak Inuktitut. So I see the International Decade of Indigenous Languages as a vehicle for us to continue to advocate to have Inuktitut recognized as a Canadian official language in Nunavut. The reason I'm being so specific about this is because I think it's important that Inuit who have never left their homelands, who are the public majority in their homelands, can expect to receive essential public services in Inuktitut. And I think that by Canada recognizing it as an official language in Nunavut, it would open up the opportunity for Canada to commit to the resources and support required to ensure that Inuktitut continues to thrive into the future, and that as Inuit parents, as Inuit students, we can expect to receive our education from kindergarten to grade 12 as Inuktitut in the language of instruction, as well as being able to access healthcare services or the justice system, all in Inuktitut. And so I think that's something very practical I'm hoping that we're able to achieve through the International Decade of Indigenous Languages.
Definitely. And I've been asking a lot of people, like, in 10 years, what do you hope? But it sounds like that's your answer is...
Yes, because I think we expected that with the creation of Nunavut. And to date, it's been since 1993, so 29 years since we signed the Nunavut Agreement. And to date, Inuktitut is not the language of work. And so I think it's well overdue. And so we take any opportunity to highlight that. And I think the decade will certainly be one of the time periods where we aggressively advocate for Inuktitut to be recognized in Canada, in Nunavut.
100%. Well, I suppose it puts it on a world stage and just be like, hey, everyone speaks this language, or a lot of people speak this language. Why is it not the official
Yes,
language?
and I think because it's Nunavut is a jurisdiction unto itself, where homogeneously Inuit are speaking, the public majority are speaking Inuktitut. It makes it very. I think it would make it less challenging for the federal government if they wanted to do a pilot project, for example. And I've mentioned that, like, we're ready. We want to be the pilot project.
Let's just get on and do it.
Yes.
I love that. Well, thank you so much.
Okay.
This
Thank
was
you so
awesome.
much.
Yeah.
Yes.